My name's Kelly Morris, and this is my dad, Rick Morris. We are Kesabe Farms. So we got into the Highland. We raised Kiko goats and wanted something to put in with the goats. We had raised Angus on the farm my whole life and his whole life, and wanted to get into something that would be a protector for our goats, but also something more manageable and smaller than an Angus cow. And started looking around, saw the fluffy little Highland cows and thought that might be a good fit, and never went back. We started out, the very first animals that you and Mom had were pigs, and that didn't go well because Mom named them and she was from town and would refuse to eat the pigs afterwards. And then when I was old enough to get into 4-H, my mom and dad got us into goats. We started out with African boar goats and did that in 4-H for many years. Switched to Kiko goats and then got into the Highlands. So our goal with the Highlands is just to raise a good, sturdy animal. I mean, we don't want females that, have good papers but have trouble having babies. Like, we want good mothers, good sturdy animals, animals that throw good. They're a meat animal, so that's the end purpose. They're not all pets, so that's what we look for. So it was actually Taco. I decided I was going to start showing, and so never shown a cow. And I started with him days after he was born to try to get him halter broke so I didn't have to fight with him, just got him used to it when he was real young. His mother didn't like that, and she came over at an 8-foot gate after us. So that was probably the most memorable. So when we got into the Highlands, what we were looking for at that point has changed over the years. So what we were looking for when we got into them was something smaller that we could put in with our goats. The gentleness was very important to us because they were going to be in with smaller animals. So we were looking more for docility and size than really like production quality. And then as we progressed with the Highlands, we switched more to making sure that we had a good commercial animal. So I guess my advice would just be, like, if you don't know for sure what you want now, that doesn't mean that you can't get into the Highlands and then kind of navigate your way through and reach out to the breed association and the all of the amazing resources that we have with the Highland cattle to figure out what's best for you.
I believe that this breed is getting much more popular all the time. I think that you're going to see more people get involved with it because of the quality of the meat, because of the animals being docile. I would say probably the biggest turnoff to a lot of people is the horns. Well, after you own these cows and you see that they're not particularly vicious, now horns are horns. You don't want to be too complacent about it because, they hurt. But we've never had a cow try to hurt anybody when they swing their head or whatever. So I think this breed is actually getting a lot more popular by the day. I just hope we don't price ourselves out of the popularity, because right now it's really hard to buy into it. But I also want to say that I think that that's across the board. It's not just Highland cows. We raise registered Kiko goats and you can't buy them now. I mean, if you want to buy a couple female goats right now, good luck. They're going to be super expensive and really hard to find. It's just the time it is, that's all. I just wonder what's going to happen to the city farmers, I guess we'll call them, the hobby farmers, whenever the newness wears off. The whole idea of, I've got a Scottish Highland cow. Are they normally animal producers? Because it is livestock. And if you're not used to producing livestock, there's going to be a little issue there later on with the work and building fence and everything else. I'm not sure that everybody looks at that whenever they buy cows. After they get out a couple times, then they figure out that the fence is really unnecessary evil.
And I think one of the other concerns is for the folks that have, like, our COVID farmers that have gotten into this, may have not looked at like the full picture of owning animals. Things like not having enough veterinarians to cover an area, and
Very true.
you know, things can go really great for a couple of years, but then if you don't have that like relationship. So I think there are a lot of factors going into that I'm afraid that we're going to see some difficulties here in a few years when you have a ton of new farmers but not enough experienced people to help.
I think she brought up one of the most important things is large animal veterinarians right now. It's extremely hard to find one. We probably do 95% of the veterinarian work ourselves with all of our animals, including the cows and everything else. It is very rare, and she has a really good relationship with a large animal vet. So if we need to get medications, you know, we know how to. The average person may not realize what needs to be done, and would they have a way of doing it.